Dabo Swinney still doesn't get it. Still has no understanding, comprehension of how the game is played in 2024. Now, you could argue that not picking up any transfers in the transfer portal is a good thing, that you could say that they didn't need to get transfers from the transfer portal, that they feel so strongly about the roster that they've compiled right now that they have no need to even look at the transfer portal. Or you could live in the real world and know that everybody, every team in America has a need that can be filled in the transfer portal. The only 4 schools in FBS football that did not take a transfer: Army, Air Force, Navy, because they can't, and Clemson, because they won't. Now, I would think it's fair to say, just a hunch, that Dabo Swinney knows how to run a college football program better than I do. But every passing day makes me question if that statement really, honestly, truly is true or not. Because he says statements that make you question whether you truly understand the importance of the transfer portal in 2024. He was on ESPN with the ACC network and was asked about their lack thereof. And he gave the spinniest of spin answers that you can give, because people are talking about Clemson because they refuse to use the transfer portal. And I understand that there is a preference of how to operate your college football program. And then there's a inherent need to operate in a different way. And the more that Dabo Swinney pushes back against the transfer portal, the more he's going to run into a complete lack of success that he's just not used to and hasn't handled very well already. And when you've gotten to the top of the mountaintop, that's a really fun, nice place to be. And your fan base, your athletic department, your athletic director, your university chancellor, your assistants, all get used to being at the top of the mountaintop. And when you make decisions and say, I don't want to do what it takes to be at the top of the mountaintop, people are going to get angry about it. And justifiably so. When he was on, he said, because he's asked, hey, you guys didn't take any transfers. What's the deal there? And the host tried to spin it for him as, well, that could be a statement of you're really glad of the guys you got. Yeah, that could be the spin. What Dabo Swinney said was, well, every player is technically a transfer. We just signed a whole class of guys transferring from high school. What are we doing? Does Dabo Swinney think he's talking to kindergartners at all times? Does he think he's talking to like your buddy's like 5-year-old daughter, where you can tell him just the dumbest shit you've ever heard? And they're like, oh, you're an adult, therefore that makes sense. Because he's not talking to a bunch of preschoolers all the time. He's talking to grown people who have brains and can go, well, wait a second, you really sound like an idiot when you say that. If you firmly believe, hey, that's not how we're going to operate, that's not how we're going to be successful, okay, stick to your guns. But damn it, say what you think, mean what you say. And if you're going to say this is how we're going to operate and we're going to be successful at it, then own it. But that goes hand in glove with being successful. You have to cash the check that your ass wrote. And I don't think he's going to do that or has done that. But to be like, well, technically every player is a transfer. Oh, I wonder why people think you're a bozo. It's so unbelievably easy to look around and be like, well, what the hell are you doing? Do you get it? Because I don't think you do. Now, there's some admirable statements that he made after well, every player's a transfer. They're transferring from high school to college. He said, like, we don't have many guys who leave Clemson without a degree. And that is undeniably a good thing. If you are getting players college educations for free, they have a step above, they have a step up on like the overwhelming majority of people their age in America. That is an awesome thing. And he said we had the highest graduation success rate in all of college football and the highest rate in power football in the last 25 years last year. And that is great. Truly. I'm not being sarcastic, facetious, none of that. Like, it really, truly is awesome that you have prioritized making sure your players get a degree from Clemson. That's awesome. On the flip side, you got a banner up that says, hey, we got the highest graduation success rate in all college football, 2023. You're going to hang that banner? You got a place in your football facility in the trophy case for highest graduation success rate. Best graduation success rate in power football in the last 25 years. You don't have a banner for that? Then people don't necessarily care. Like, and that's great. I really, honestly, truly do believe that it's awesome that he prioritizes that. Is that even something your social media team puts out? Is that even a thing you post on Twitter, Instagram? Like, hey, guess what? We had the highest graduation success rate. Maybe once during the summer when you don't have anything else to post. It should matter. It really honestly should. Like, in a perfect sunshine, rainbows, daisies, college football world, the graduation rate of players should be really important. But here in the real world, it's not. And for the most part, in the business setting that college football has now become, nobody gives a damn how many of your players do or do not graduate. Like, that is an awesome thing to sit in somebody's living room, and apparently you're sitting in a lot of high school players' living rooms, and say, Mom, Dad, you send your kid to Clemson, they're going to get a great education. I mean, it's South Carolina. You're going to get an education. We're going to make sure they get a degree when they come here and stay for 4 years. And that's a powerful recruiting tool. It really is. But you know what's a more powerful recruiting tool? Winning. Winning non-conference games, winning ACC conference games, winning conference championships, winning college football playoff games, winning bowl games, winning championships is a really great recruiting tool. And he should know he's done it at the highest level for damn near a decade. You couldn't turn on the national championship game without seeing Clemson or in the playoff. And when they lost a game or two, the sky was falling and we had to wonder, man, what in the hell happened to Clemson? And now, a few years removed from that, you have to wonder if Clemson can get in the top 25. If Clemson can be competitive in their division. And it's all strictly from bucking the transfer portal and not operating the same way that everybody else has found immediate success. And I understand that you hate instant gratification and all of those things. But Clemson finds themselves in the space they are right now strictly because of the decisions made by their head coach. And when asked about them, when it's pointed out to you, hey, you refuse to participate in this area that's been really important for other schools. Why do you do that? And you put on your used car salesman, well, technically everybody's a transfer. It's really difficult to find any empathy, sympathy, or to remotely root for you when you try to pull the huckster, shyster bullcrap that you constantly do. Well, our football program is using NIL. We're built in God's name, image, and likeness. Oh, my God. What are you doing? But to his credit, he doesn't ever change. To his detriment, it doesn't ever change. That'll do it for today's episode of the Daily Huddle. Appreciate you making us a part of your day, however it is, wherever it is you're doing so. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're getting all the great college football content we're pumping out. If you are listening on the podcast feed, drop a 5-star review. It goes a long way in helping out the channel. I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Daily Huddle.